This is a very special occasion. I want to congratulate all the graduates of Westmont College in this 2013 commencement. May God, like your theme says, lead you and determine all your work and your life in the future. God bless you.
I want you to know that at Baccalaureate last night, I've done this for 13 years, and you were the best class lining up. So way to go. It is my pleasure to introduce someone you don't need to be introduced to, Dr. Eilleen McQuade, who is the Vice Chair of the faculty, and she has some words of wisdom for you. God bless you and enjoy your day.
Well, I think you and I are in for some changes this summer, huh? Well, you know, the lecturing is done, the papers are handed in, the exams have been completed, and here you are, soon-to-be graduates, 2013. You know, us faculty, as we look upon the sea of caps and gowns, I mean, we beam with pride. We are so proud of you and all that you have accomplished. It has been such an honor to walk with you on this journey that you have been traveling, but it's also a journey that, of course, God called you on. And first and foremost, He called you to be students. And you've used your abilities and your talents and your finances to earn this college degree, which is a rare privilege globally. And you ran the race, He said, before you with commitment and integrity, and I'll say with sheer grit. Tackling the challenging assignments we gave you, wrestling with the questions that didn't have clear answers, straining to find your own unique, creative voice. But over these last 4 years, He called you to be more than just students. He called you to be friends and RAs and TAs. He called you to be worship leaders and ministry leaders, and of course, a lot more. He called you to give of yourself, to be Christ to those in need. And you did. It may have been for someone you knew well. Maybe it was a friend or a neighbor, a teammate, a classmate, a coach. But often it was for someone you didn't know at all. Maybe a grade schooler on the east side that you tutored, or a homeless man you shared a meal with, or a child in another country that you supported financially by always faithfully putting your money in that piggy bank outside the gym. And for these acts, us faculty are as proud about these as we are about your accomplishments in the classroom. But most importantly, God has called you to be His adopted sons and daughters. He called you to walk faithfully and live in obedience. But all our experiences with God have looked different. One thing you should have learned, that there's no one-size-fits-all. For some of us, God's presence has been a rushing river that has surrounded us above and behind, and His presence has felt immediate. But for others of us, it's felt and looked like a dim candle maybe in the distance, kind of flickering. Indeed, for most of us, I think it's probably been a little bit of both. But whether we're swimming in that river or looking at that distant candle, or sometimes even when we don't see that flickering candle, God is with you. He never leaves us. He never leaves us whether we're on the mountain or in the valley. And one reason we know this is that many of you, to be standing here today, you've had to go through incredible difficulties over the last 4 years. Perhaps financial uncertainties, not knowing where the next tuition check is going to come from. Maybe health challenges, physical pain, mental anguish that made getting out of bed quite hard, let alone trying to study. And for many of us, we have experienced some deep loss over these last 4 years. We think of our dear friend, Professor Alex Moore, who passed away just a few days after commencement last year. We think of dear Nick Davis, who passed away earlier this semester. Their absences are deeply felt, and I think many of us still see a hole here in the faculty line and see a hole here in the econ business section where our friends should be. But these challenges and our perseverance through them as a community reminds us both of the intense beauty of life, but also its fragility. It reminds us that life is to be cherished and nourished and protected, but it also should be relished in and celebrated. And that's really what today is all about. It's about celebration and celebrating you and your accomplishments. Now, I said the lecturing was done, but of course I'm a professor. I have to give one more parting piece of advice. And I've been thinking and praying a lot about what that advice should be, and two words kept coming to mind. And those two words were, be courageous. Be courageous. I've already marveled at the courage you have displayed over the last 4 years. Courage to speak your mind, courage to take the path less traveled, courage to stand up for your faith. And I know that God has amazing plans for each one of you. Some plans you know about, and some plans you don't. But there will be times when you will need to tap into this reservoir of courage, and times when you feel that your courage will fail. But God has prepared you. He's prepared you for the journey ahead, just as He has prepared you for the journey behind. Remember His faithfulness that you have already seen and already experienced. Do not be anxious. He will carry you through, so take courage. Now, I want you to indulge me. We're going to say this two verses from Scripture together. You're just going to repeat after me. These are two verses from 1 Corinthians 16, 13 to 14. And you students, I want you to say this to each other. Faculty will join us. Trustees will join us. So repeat after me and say it like you mean it. So repeat after me. Be on your guard.
Be on your guard.
Stand firm in the faith.
Stand firm in the faith.
Be courageous.
Be courageous.
Be strong.
Be strong.
And do everything in love.
And do everything in love.
And now, let the bagpipers begin.
We're not taking up.